Guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be doing my MagDK build for the Untitled Chapter. I absolutely love this build. I was having so much fun on it today, so I really hope you guys enjoy it too. And I got clips for you guys this time, so I'm really excited about it. I'll be showing the clips at the end of the video after I'm done explaining the skills, CP, everything. So make sure you stay tuned just to see that it works. But guys, thank you guys so much for being here. If you aren't yet, please subscribe to the channel. That really helps me a lot. But I'm not going to say anything else. Let's just get on with the video. Alright guys, first things first, as always, we're going to look at our character sheet. We're going to be a Breton on this build. Breton is, in my opinion, the best magic class or race in the game right now. Breton's going to counteract that Vampire Stage 3 increased cost because Breton has a reduced cost on magic abilities in their passives. So I think Breton is the best for this build. We're going to have 47 points into magic and 17 points into health. And this is how our stats are going to break down. I know it's not as chunky as we're normally used to for our stats, but I definitely think that it still works, and I had absolutely no problems with it all day, and I definitely recommend it. I think that 23 magic with this amount of recuv is still so worth it. I'll show you a little bit later. Our weapon damage is going to be up to 5,500 just normally sitting. That's without being in combat or proccing anything. And then our resistances are at 27.8 spell and 24 physical. And our Mundus is going to be the warrior, increasing our weapon damage by 238. I will explain why we're using weapon damage on a MagDK in a little bit. I promise it will be explained. And then we're going to be using Orzoga Smoked Bear Haunch as our food to increase our max health as much as possible, while also increasing our stamina and magic recovery. And then, like I said, Vampire Stage 3 to get that tankiness because of that Undeath passive. It's built in Pariah, so you get that 30% reduced damage when you're taking damage when you have less health. Let's move on to our gear. Our mythic for this, I'm just going to start off with that first. We're using Oaken Soul, guys. Using this is the 1 bar mythic, which only allows you to use that 1 bar, which is why we had all of those major and minor passives in the character sheet. So this is just making you do so much damage. I love it so much. I've been having a blast on this. I think it's actually one of the funniest things that they've added to the game in a long time. So the rest of our jewelry, and that's going to be in the infused trait with a weapon damage enchantment on it. Our jewelry is going to be Plague Break. Both of our pieces are Plague Break. Our necklace is going to be infused with a reduced magic enchant on it. And then our ring is going to be Swift with a increased weapon damage glyph on it as well. Our weapons are going to be 2 Plague Break swords. I use swords on this and not maces because we're going to be in corrosive a lot of the time. So you don't need that extra pen from maces. So getting your weapon damage up with the swords is the way to go. Both are going to be in charged traits as well. And then onto our actual gear, we're going to be using a heavy helmet of Wretched Vitality and Reinforced. And what Wretched Vitality does is it gives you that 2 and 3 piece gives you magic and stamina recovery. The 4 piece gives you weapon and spell damage, and the 5 piece while you're in combat applying a major buff or debuff. Basically, a fancy way to say while you apply a major buff to you, you gain recovery, and the same thing with a minor buff or debuff. So you get from Race Against Time, you get Major Expedition, then you also get Minor Force. So just using Race Against Time procs both conditions of this, and you get a lot of recovery for this. So using Race Against Time is what procs this. So heavy reinforced helmet, and you're going to get a lot of recovery for it. It's an insane amount of recovery. So a reinforced helmet, a reinforced heavy chest, all prismatic as you can see, a reinforced heavy set of legs, and then a light impen gloves. I can't talk. Light impen sash. And then our boots are going to be Plague Break in impen. And then our shoulder is going to be Magma Incarnate in impen as well. I don't have a light piece for Magma Incarnate of the shoulder, so I just use medium. If you have light, I would do that, but medium isn't bad either. Either one works. You still have damage regardless. I actually really like the way the medium feels. And then on to our skills. It's only one bar, so we don't have to go over that much. I'm gonna go over a. Actually, I'll go over Molten Whip first. Molten Whip. This is not gonna be your spammable. You're gonna use this every 4 skills. I'll explain it to you in a second. It's gonna do a lot of damage, I promise. This is going to be your spammable, Engulfing Flames. You're going to be hitting really hard with this ability, especially if you're in Corrosive. So using this is your way to stack up your stacks on your Molten Whip as well, so that it hits harder. I'll show you actually I'll show you right now. So as you can see, our Molten Whip tooltip is 10.2k, but if we get those stacks up like this, 1, 2, 3. We can see right here, skills, that it's up to 19.3k. So getting that 3 stack and then your whip off, you are doing insane damages. I've hit constant 12, 15k whips on people. It is so much fun to hit that hard, especially if you're in Corrosive. You're hitting so hard. Race Against Time, this is going to be your snare removal, and it's also going to be your source of major expedition, and it's going to proc both conditions of your Wretched Vitality, so you're going to get a lot of recovery for this as well. Resolving Vigor. I know what you're thinking. MagDK with Resolving Vigor? Trust me, you have the stamina recovery with Urzogas and Wretched Vitality to sustain this, and plus it just heavy attack once in a while. You could definitely sustain it. It's going to give you a really good heal to take the pressure off, and I definitely recommend it on this build. Coagulating Blood, this is going to be your burst heal when you're taking less damage, when you're taking more damage. So Resolving Vigor is going to be what you're going to want to keep your health up as high as possible. But when you take too much damage and you fall below a certain line, you're going to want to use Coag, and that's going to be what gets your health back to full. It's going to give you some nice chunky heals. I've hit really, really, really fat Coagulating Bloods with this. And then, like I said earlier, Engulfing, it's going to make you hit a lot harder. And plus, you getting those 3 stacks with your whip is huge. And then, I forgot to explain it before, but where's the passive for this? I forgot what passive. It's one of these passives, I swear. I don't remember which one. And no, I am not cutting this out of the video. I think it's funny to keep this in here. That way you see that I am not perfect at all. All right. Where is it? Oh, right here. Mountain's Blessing. So Dragonite has a passive which gives you more weapon damage. It's going to give you that minor brutality, but you don't get that minor sorcery. So you can build higher weapon damage on Dragonites than you can spell damage. So that's why I used my glyphs for weapon damage, and then that's why I also used the Mundus for weapon damage as well, because of the Mountain's Blessing passive. And then I forgot to explain, Corrosive is going to be your ultimate. You're going to be ignoring your enemy's physical and spell resistance, and you're going to be taking limited damage while in there. So guys, Corrosive is my favorite ultimate to use as a Dragonite. It is so huge. Please, 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 please use this. If you don't, that's understandable. Leap still hits hard with this, but I definitely recommend Corrosive. You hit like an absolute truck, especially if you get a 3-stack whip. You are hitting so hard, I promise. And then our blue slottables for our champion points are going to be Opulent Overload, Mastered Arms, Ironclad, and Duelist Rebuff. Opulent Overload is the only thing I'm going to explain real quick. They changed this patch, so this is hitting so hard. It's basically like built-in Vicious Death. I definitely recommend it, especially with your you're going to be able to proc this on almost anything. I definitely recommend it. Our red tree is going to be Pain's Refuge, Fortified, Boundless Vitality, and Celerity. And then our green tree, the only things that matter, I would definitely recommend Rationer to get your extra time on your Urzogas. Liquid Efficiency, Gifted Rider isn't really that important. Seed Splashing isn't that important. But I do also recommend using Breakfall on this to get that reduced fall damage passive. And that's it. We're about to play some of the clips that I got today. I really hope you guys enjoy. And if you haven't yet, again, please subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it. Any likes also help the video. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. And it really helps me with the algorithm. And also, on the other hand, if you want to just leave a comment, say whatever, tell me to have a nice day, whatever. I don't care what you say. That helps me a lot too. So guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.
Houston, if you're ready, we'll maneuver. Reaching out. Rainbow Road.
There is no place and no moment in history where I could stand and say, oh, it was pretty